Hey, how's it going everyone? I'm Martin and welcome back. So there's been a ton of new information coming out from E3 from all different sources. It's been really difficult trying to keep up with everything, so please do bear with me. I apologise. I'm trying to do my best to round up everything and pack it all into videos for you guys. So for this video I've gone and picked up some of the more juicy details from interviews, and then I'll also have a follow-up video afterwards at some point going over the rest of the information and trying to cover everything. So the first round of information comes from an interview with Luke Smith from Kotaku, and one of the things they talked about is a new activity called Flashpoints, and this actually has me really excited. So Flashpoints are essentially featured locations, and this means that each week one of the locations is going to be featured to have special attributes. So things such as special monsters, treasure maps, events, and rewarding very powerful Nightfall tier rewards. So that is really interesting. This means that we're actually going to have even more reasons to go back to these patrol areas and actually have things to do in these new locations. It mentioned treasure maps, which we already know is going to be a thing in Destiny 2. These are called adventures. I absolutely love exploring new locations and finding secrets and such, so this is going to be one of those things that I'm especially excited for. Now, whilst we're on the topic of locations, Luke Smith also mentioned something that they call silent, and from the sounds of it, from the way he described it, these are essentially the same thing as the things we'd see in Patrol in Destiny 1 when you'd get that little notification in the bottom left corner saying enemies move against each other. So it sounds like kind of the same thing as that. We'll be seeing more of those in the new locations, but it also sounds like they've expanded upon that and maybe added some more interesting elements to it. But unfortunately he didn't go into any details about this. All he said was that they call it the silent. So I guess we'll just have to wait for more information on that. In this interview, Luke Smith was also asked if there's going to be any fast travel options, and the answer is yes. There's actually going to be some fast travel options that you'll unlock, and from the sounds of it, there could be multiple landing zones on each location, because the European Dead Zone, from what we heard, is possibly 3 times as big as any location we visited before. So we're going to need a fast way to get around that. Next up, it turns out that the Defender Titan's Ward of Dawn bubble is actually going to be returning in Destiny 2. Now, it's actually going to be coming back as an ability for the Sentinel subclass. So no, it's not going to be a separate subclass. The Defender is not returning. It's going to be an ability of the Sentinel. And to activate it, you can press and hold the super activation button, and you'll place Ward of Dawn instead. So that's really cool, especially as a Titan main myself. I can't wait to get my hands on Sentinel. It's probably going to be one of my favourite subclasses of Destiny 2, and this just makes it that much sweeter. Up until now, we kind of just thought that the Defender bubble was only going to be available to Commander Zavala in that first story mission, but no, it's actually going to be an ability in one of these skill trees for the Sentinel. That's actually really cool. You have a choice. The super isn't just limited to being used in one way. It has 2 completely separate modes. You can be mobile and walk around with a shield and also throw it around Captain America style, or you can just place the bubble in one spot and leave it there. And I don't think there's any other super that's like that has 2 different modes of use. The closest thing I can think to that is the ability to have self-res or no self-res on the Sunsinger. Speaking of which, self-res is not going to be returning in Destiny 2, this was also confirmed in the article. And lastly, on the topic of exotics, there's still going to be some that will drop randomly from engrams and such, so there's still going to be an element of RNG there, but there's also going to be a bunch that you could obtain from quests. So that means that there will be a few exotics that you will be guaranteed to get. You will know when you go on a quest, you know what the reward is going to be at the end. So that is all for this video. Like I said at the beginning, I'll have a follow-up video going over the rest of the details that have been revealed. There's just so much to go over, so do stay tuned to this channel. Also be sure to check out my previous video in which I go over a new exotic that was revealed called Cold Heart, as well as a new weapon type and some other details. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.